Caroline Flack, a 40-year-old TV presenter here in the UK, was found dead in her flat yesterday. Her lawyer confirmed that Caroline took her own life. This comes after a much publicised assault charge against Caroline. This is something that her partner did not agree with, but the CPS decided to put on a show trial anyway and set a date for the next couple of weeks. Of course, the tabloid press and the social media had an absolute field day with this and turned against Caroline. At last week's National Television Awards here in the UK, Caroline was made fun of in front of an audience of millions. And even a quick glance through Caroline's own social media posts show that here was a woman who was having some struggles with her mental health. Her celebrity friends have come out in tribute to her, and some of them have described her as a kind, loving, and fragile person. So how did this happen? How has Caroline become one of the 3,000 people globally to take their own lives every single day? I guess in Caroline's case, the media who champion mental health issues have turned so viciously against Caroline while she was alive. And perhaps support from her employer, her bosses at ITV, wasn't as robust as it could have been. Perhaps Caroline couldn't see any other way out of the situation that she was in. And it looks like the tabloid media and social media trolls should bear some responsibility over this untimely and preventable death. And perhaps as consumers, we can be asking ourselves, why do we delight in the downfall of others? Why are we clicking on these headlines and these articles? I believe that each and every death by suicide or suicide attempt is preventable. So much more work can be done in educating not only ourselves, but also those people who are in need of support, who may be having suicidal thoughts, whether that be friends of ours, lovers, family members, work colleagues, or even just random strangers that may be needing our help. For those of us left behind by death by suicide, we're often left with thoughts like, if only I had done something else, if only I could have helped more, if only I could have seen the signs. So what could be the signs that someone is struggling with suicidal ideation? Well, someone might feel completely overwhelmed by the challenges that they're facing. They develop an almost tunnel-like vision that their future is hopeless and the only way out of their situation is by taking their own lives. Most suicide deaths are caused by people who feel that they can't share their feelings, so look for signs of isolation and a lack of interest in doing things that they once used to really enjoy. Another thing to look out for is perhaps the person is joking about death. They might talk about life having no purpose and feeling like a burden and feeling ashamed. And you might even notice people giving away their possessions. If you suspect someone is having suicidal thoughts, talk to them. We often believe that if we talk about suicide to someone, we might be putting that idea in their heads, but this simply isn't true. Be direct with them. Ask them, are you thinking about killing yourself? It's an uncomfortable discussion to have, but it's an important discussion. You could be saving someone's life. Urge the person to seek professional help and perhaps become part of that process with them. Most of all, be there for them. Talk things through without them feeling like they're a burden. Now, we can't control other people's actions, but we can intervene. We can be a guiding force of positive change in someone's life. Many of us have been touched by suicide, whether through losing people that we love or through our own mental health issues. And suicide prevention starts by getting the conversation going and educating ourselves. Here in the UK, the Samaritans offer 24-hour phone, text, and email services. There's courses you can join up with the Samaritans. You can volunteer with the Samaritans, find out more about suicide prevention. Just a quick search on Google will show you local support groups, workshops, and courses that are well worth attending and taking your time to research or get into, because you're educating yourself and you can then go on to educate other people. The ACM project, Silence Kills, is a fantastic workshop that's held in the UK and Australia, specifically around male suicide. Check out their social media for news on future events. It's really worth going to one of these workshops. You'll have a presentation from people who have been touched by suicide, people who have lost loved ones, and even from people who have tried to take their own lives, and how life now has much more meaning than it had at the time. I'll post links to the ACM project and the Samaritans in the description of this video. Suicide is preventable. There is hope, and people do care. Remember, today more than any other day, be kind to yourself and others.